Hello, I'm here for the beginning of the weekly reading update, and it is Wednesday, so I'm a little late. I usually try to do it Monday because I usually finish a book on the weekend, and here's Norman to be Norman as soon as this gets put out. And I did finish 2 books over the weekend, so I'm gonna have some backing up to do here. Once Norman gets out of the way, I finished Carl's Doomsday Senario by Dinniman. Okay, you gotta get down. Book 2 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I enjoyed it. I liked it better than the first. It's shorter, it's faster, it's still just as fun, but I don't really have anything to say about it because it's the same as the first one, other than you don't have the exposition so that it does read faster. So yeah, that's all I got for that. I will be continuing the series with that whenever I can get it from the library. And then I also finished Fables. This is volume 5, The Mean Streets. This one is, well, Fables is a series where the fairyland people, the people from the fairy tales, got kicked out of their land and are living in New York, basically. Hiding in plain sight if they're human or of human form, and hiding on a farm in upstate New York if they are not of human form. This one, the little vignettes, this one had 2 war stories. Well, it's one war story, it was just split into 2, about the big bad wolf, who is one of our main characters, who is the sheriff of Fableland. There was, it's sad that I can't even remember, another story split into 4 called The Mean Seasons. So there was one for each season where Snow White gave birth to 6 or 7 children, and basically the birth of the children and the first year of their life. Big B, the big bad wolf, is the father, so she had a litter of kids ranging from one looks human to one looks like a wolf. Yeah, basically that's what that was. This was okay. Some of the Fable series are really good, some are okay, and one was I could have done without, but so far still worth reading, so I'll go on with the series next time also, next month. I'm getting those from the library also. And I should say, here's the cat, the wind is, it's really windy today, so that's what you're hearing, is the wind blowing through the window. And then I also started The Graveyard Shift by D.M. McGuire, I believe that's how you pronounce that. I'm not 100% sure. This is the beginning of a 6-book series, the 24/7 Demon Mart series, where Lloyd Wallace is a 20-something college dropout living back with mom because his girlfriend kicked him out. Goes to the 24/7 Dairy Mart to get a Slurpee to help him stay up all night playing video games, and something occurs, an incident happens, and he gets a job at the store. And we find out that it is not the Dairy Mart, it is the Demon Mart, and in the beer cooler is a portal to hell. And basically his job is border patrol to make sure the entities that come out of the portal are proper entities that can be in our world and stop those that don't. And it's Lloyd and Dee Dee and Kevin, who is a talking cockroach, on the third shift guarding the portal. This is a horror comedy, and this is a reread. I've read this one before. I've never gone on with the series, which is what I'm planning on doing, so I had to reread the first one. I couldn't remember enough to move on in the series without having to reread this, so I enjoyed it. Again, this is horror comedy, so you gotta go into it with a grain of salt. Horror comedy is subjective. If I like it, doesn't mean that you're gonna like it. But yeah, I am enjoying it, my reread. And then Babylon's Ashes. I have not read a single word of this since I have my last update. And The Whispering Room, the Jane Hawk Volume 2. I am getting down there. It's more of the same, and I was correct in my assumptions that the sheriff and Jane were going to connect in the city and start working together. At this point, they have rescued 8 children from the city who were too young to have the nanobots added to them, and have dropped them off at an orphanage that, you know, amazingly enough, she knew somebody who runs an orphanage, and are about to part ways again. But it's still just her running around trying to get more information on these people that are running this conspiracy with the nanobots. And I'm enjoying this one. It's not bad. And then I also started the second book in the Wizard for Hire, the Dresden Files. The second book is Full Moon, and the Dresden Files follows Harry Dresden, who is a actual wizard living in Chicago because magic is real, and he helps the police, special ops, who get stuck with the weird cases. I'm on chapter 11, so you would think that I would know more about what's going on. All I know so far in the story is it's involving werewolves, which I could have probably figured out by the name of it, Full Moon. Over the last couple of full moons, there's been a rash of murders, and they finally called Dresden in to see if he could help with the case, and he is finding gangs of werewolves. Well, he found a gang of lycanthropes, but they are not the ones committing the murders, but he got himself into a bit of a trouble with the gang, and now the leader of the gang either has to kill him or will be thrown out of his position and basically killed for somebody else taking the leadership role. That's where we're at with that. This also a quick, fun read. It's definitely not going to be any literary winners in these, but there it is. That's the first update for the week. If I finish something, I'll jump on before Friday. Otherwise, I'll just jump on Friday and give you the ending update. But I don't have a whole bunch to say about any of my books. I just needed to let you know I finished 2 and I started 2. There you go. See you when I see you. Hello, happy Friday, everybody. I'm here to give my end of the week portion of this weekly update. I don't exactly remember what I told you guys this week. I know I kind of just didn't do any updates until Wednesday. I quickly jumped on here because my library books were due, so I had to return them. But I don't remember exactly what I told you, and I just can't be bothered to go and look at my clips. So, since last Friday, I finished Through Gates of Garnet and Gold, the 11th book in the Wayward Children series. I'm pretty sure I talked to you about this. We follow Nancy, who comes back to the real world, to Mrs. West's Home for Wayward Children, because the halls of the dead are being attacked by the dead and they are killing her friends. So she comes to get her other friends to go and help. In my opinion, this was one of the better ones. I've always liked the ones that had some sort of connection with the school and the group of kids at the school than the ones just in the world and following just one person. So I enjoyed that one. I also finished Carl's Doomsday Senario, book 2 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and I know I talked to you about that. I liked it better than the first one. It was faster paced. I also finished Fables Volume 5. I know I talked to you about that. The Mean Streets with the different stories. It was okay. These are good enough to continue on the series, but they're usually never knock your socks off. Wow. And I also finished The Dead Cattail Assassins by I am going to pronounce this wrong. Djeli Clark. I wanted to read A Ring Shout for a long time, and this one came up and it was available at my library, so I grabbed it, and I had a good time with it. It was fun. It is about an assassin in an assassin's guild. They're dead. They die to become a part of this guild, and they have to follow the rules of the guild, obviously. And she was tasked to, she obviously pissed somebody off because she was tasked to kill herself. Somebody went into the past and brought her past self into the future and then put a contract on her head. And it's the story of her going through that and figuring out what to do. And then I am still reading everything else. I haven't finished anything else. I may finish something this weekend. I don't know. I haven't really been feeling ready lately. So I've been reading a little bit here and there, but not a whole bunch. I don't know why. I haven't been busy. I haven't been overly busy, at least. But I also haven't been wanting to read. So still reading The Whispering Room. I have less than 100 pages left. If I get into the mood, I'll probably finish this one first, since less than 100 pages. And I've been working on this one the longest of the books that I've been reading. It's okay. It's pretty fast paced. It's not any type of it's never gonna win any type of award or anything. It's just one of those. I can equate it to like the Jack Reacher series. It's kind of like that. It seems this book is completely different than the first book. The first book was kind of hard to get through, so there's that. But this one is it's kind of been like 3 different stories within one. In this one, it's all one overarching story, and the first book was following that one. This one had like part of that one, and then it branched off to 2. They're attached but not quite the actual story, if you get what I mean. But yeah, that's still underway. And then the 24/7 Demon Mart book number 1, The Graveyard Shift by D.M. Guay. I am having a lot of fun with this. Again, it is reminding me, since I just finished reading the Dark Lord Davi series, this is kind of reminding me of that. So if you read that and liked it, give this one a shot. Let me see. My copy, I believe, is self-published. Yes, my copy is self-published. I think they're all still self-published. I don't 100% know. Maybe there's an independent publisher in there now. But it's a bunch of fun. Just fun. Lloyd, you follow Lloyd. He's the one you're following, working the graveyard shift at the Demon Mart, which is during the day just a regular 24/7 dairy mart, but at midnight they open up the portal to hell, and beings come through. Those that are supposed to come through with the right papers, they let through. Those that aren't, they battle. It's fun. I'm almost done with this one too. I actually have only like 30 pages of this, so maybe if I'll probably finish this weekend. It is a reread so that I can continue on in the series. It's been too long. And then I am still reading Full Moon. I am, I believe, chapter 27 of 34. This one also less than 100 pages. So if I get in the mood, I might finish this one too. Who knows? But yes, The Dresden Files #2 by Jim Butcher. This is the second one in the Dresden Files series, where we follow Harry, the resident wizard in Chicago, who helps the police with special crimes. The Special Investigations Team. The one that they're doing now is a werewolf case. It's tying in with the big mob boss, Marconi. There are 3 separate werewolf packs. Well, 2 packs and 1 lone, fighting things out, and they're trying to figure everything out. Again, just like the Jane Hawk novels, the Dresden Files, if you haven't read them, they're just fun, fast, campy stories that they're never going to be the best book you ever read. They're just fun. And then, still struggling through Babylon's Ashes. I read 2 of the 10 chapters that my friend is waiting for me to buddy read, but again, nothing really happened in those 2 chapters, and I'm struggling to even want to pick this up. If this was not a buddy read, this book would have kicked me off the series, and I probably would never have finished. But at some point, I will have to read those 8 more chapters to get caught up. But probably not this weekend. And that's it. That's my weekly update. I didn't finish anything from since the last time I talked to you, but I did end up finishing 3 books this week. And I will see you next week.